Good morning, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. You're welcome to FMDQ Depository's QX Depository Launch webinar. My name is Ifoma Bosa, and I'm the head of Depository Services at FMDQ Depository Limited. I will be hosting this session. Now, before we start, I'd like to share the order of proceedings for today and some housekeeping rules. All right, and to get us started, the Chief Executive Officer of FMDQ Group PLC, Mr. Bola Onodele Koko, will deliver the keynote address. After which, the Chief Operating Officer of FMDQ Depository Limited, Mr. Emmanuel Alao, will take us through an overview of FMDQ Depository and the new world-class central securities depository that is being launched today. Subsequently, there'll be a session, a Q&A session for about 20 minutes, followed by a vote of thanks. We will not keep you long. It will be an hour-long session. Finally, please feel free to put your questions in the Q&A section at the bottom of your screen, as all participants will be muted throughout the webinar. I will now call on Bola Onodele Koko to give the keynote address. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ifoma, and good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great time in Nigeria. We have a new government, we have reforms, and FMDQ Depository is also commencing on the promised value to the market. So my address is very short, and I'll try and read it as quickly as possible so I don't stand in the way of your deliberations today. It is with great pleasure that I welcome you all to the official launch of a world-class Central Securities Depository System, which is going to be known as FMDQ QX Depository System. It's set to go live on Friday, July 7, 2023. That's a wonderful day, which is in line with FMDQ Depository Limited's strategic objective of delivering on our sellable securities and ancillary services to its stakeholders. On behalf of the board and management of FMDQ Depository, and we have to thank the board for making commitment of that investment, I would like to thank our stakeholders for the unwavering support received over the years, as we remain committed to building a formidable partnership towards delivering superior value and cutting-edge solutions that support the achievement of our mandate and the development of the Nigerian capital markets. Our profound gratitude also goes to the apex regulator, the Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC as we all know them, for their assiduous leadership, support, and commitment towards the introduction of overarching market development initiatives aimed at promoting continuous growth and development in the Nigerian capital markets. Further, we express our sincere gratitude to all depository participants and industry associations who yielded to our calls for participation in the user acceptance test and walkthrough sessions where invaluable feedback was received and instrumental towards finalizing the development of the system. Together as partners, we have achieved this great feat that possesses the unique potential of introducing best practices in the Nigerian capital markets, which we are indeed proud to have pioneered. The launch of FMDQ QX Depository System is a demonstration of FMDQ Depository's commitment to investing in cutting-edge solutions that deliver value to relevant stakeholders in the capital markets. This robust technology system provides unrivaled and novel opportunities for participants to achieve efficiency and digitization in the pre- and post-trade primary and secondary markets activities, which in turn facilitates the delivery of value to clients in a cost-effective and efficient manner. The intent and motive behind the launch of the FMDQ QX depository system is more evident when one considers FMDQ Depository's mandate to provide quality and timely depository services for both financial and non-financial markets. Through innovative and sustainable technology solutions, offering market participants an unrivaled opportunity to experience enhanced straight-through processing. As a systemically important financial market infrastructure and an agent of change with a pivotal role of strengthening the capital markets and promoting financial stability, FMDQ Depository remains committed to technological advancements that seek to transform capital markets activities whilst eliminating bottlenecks that hamper the free flow and efficient allocation of capital. We are indeed thrilled to launch the FMDQ QX depository system, which will be deployed in 2 phases. The details and scope will be discussed subsequently during the launch. We encourage all participants to avail themselves a suite of high performance, robust, and critical features that have the potential to transform capital markets activities. A few of such innovative features include: 1, auction module and delivery versus payment for primary market transactions. 2, straight-through processing of transactions. 3, streamlined entitlement processing of corporate actions. 4, accurate portfolio valuations and on-demand reports. 5, simplified collateral services system, amongst others. For us at FMDQ Depository, this launch marks the beginning of a series of transformative initiatives which will contribute immensely to the growth of the Nigerian financial markets in the dynamic environment we operate. FMDQ Depository remains committed to leveraging technology solutions to drive robust risk management practices and efficient processes to support development and growth of Nigerian financial markets, and will continue to work assiduously towards the fulfillment of this mandate. Once again, you are all welcome of our commitment to providing all stakeholders with quality and timely depository services through innovative and sustainable technology solutions. Thank you. I hand over back to you, Ifeoma.
Thank you very much, Coco, for that keynote address. It's a great way to start the webinar. At this stage, I will hand over to my colleague, Emmanuel Alao, who will take us through an overview of FMDQ Depository and QX depository system. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I was trying to unmute myself. You're welcome to this, once again, to this session of the launch of our application system. And I hope that you have good information that we're going to be passing across. And I'm hoping that I'm looking forward to a very informative session. You also have the opportunity to ask questions down the line. We'll just launch with the presentation slides. Please put in presentation mode. Step through to the first page, please. All right, so the first is basically, we are known in the market. I believe that the services and the engagement we've had to date has marked us out as a depository of note. But we thought we should put up a slide quickly to give a bit of history. We started commercial activities in January 2020. We had a depository system, but we felt that we needed to do more to ensure we deliver greater value and greater integration with our participants. And that has led us down to this, to where we are at this point. As you're aware, our service portfolio is focused on all types of security. Principally, we started with fixed income, and we have an equity on our platform now, and we intend to do all asset types as we go forward. Our go live day for this new application system is scheduled to be July 7, and this is a prelude to that schedule. Next slide, please. Our vision that we set out when we started this franchise has been to be the foremost and most diversified depository in Africa by 2025. This may look very ambitious, but we're an ambitious company, and we've taken time to work out what we need to do and how we need to lead and what we need to deliver to our participants to ensure we achieve this objective. A key component of that is technology. All our services are underpinned by technology solutions, and the board has supported us to date by investing heavily in technology to be able to drive the kind of value propositions that we're looking to deliver to our participants at every point in time. Next slide, please. From a value proposition standpoint, and I will not spend a lot of time on this, we broke that down into 4 components: the technology stack, the risk management component, service management, and straight-through processing capabilities. All of that underpinned by world-class technology platform, standardization, ensuring that we can automate things from one end to the other. And that's a bedrock of our digital agenda that we have, which we have been communicating for the last 2 years that we're working towards. We have endeavored to take all this into the requirement of the new business application that we're launching today and ensure we codified these basic value propositions or differentiated value propositions into that platform to ensure these are realizable, achievable objectives, not just for us, but for the whole industry, because we don't believe that we exist in this market alone. It's something that we need to do with our partners, which is yourselves. Next slide. The new system, we have 2 components of it. There is the main CSD application, which we use for providing services to yourselves, and which our direct participants will also have ability connecting to, because there's a number of self-service capabilities and key features that has proven to be useful and differentiating in terms of value proposition to us and to yourselves. I'll just go quickly through a number of them. At the top, you're going to notice the corporate action records. And this will ensure that all securities lodged on our platform, the corporate action events, the dates, and everything that relates to the securities are captured on the platform. This means that participants do not need to keep separate records. They can basically use the same records that we have. So there's one golden source of truth that everybody can basically use. We've also worked very hard to ensure that we link cash and security movement, what we normally call DVP in industry jargon, in any situation that we have. We came into a market where securities movement and cash movement are separated. At this point, we're working very strongly to integrate with the cash settlement facility in the name of NIMS to ensure that linkage is done. The functionality exists on the system, and once the integration is completed, everyone can take advantage of this and de-risk the movement of value between counterparties. And we've also ensured that we have self-service capabilities and on-demand features on this platform. It does mean, for instance, that an asset custodian can initiate a movement of value between accounts from their platform and ensure that they can generate the reports they need at any point in time, and a number of other features that support the operational excellence of our participants and ourselves. Data confidentiality. We take this to be sacrosanct. We believe that everybody's data must be kept safe and that every participant's information, proprietary information, cannot be viewable or seen by another participant. This is a key principle that we've embedded into the solution that we're deploying and that we're launching today, that we have deployed and we're launching today. Application programming interface. We have also ensured, as I indicated earlier, that we can integrate with NIMS for cash settlement, cash settlement facility, but we also have other integration options that participants can take advantage of. Straight-through processing. This is key. If we're going to ensure there's efficiencies in security services, if we're going to ensure that we remove friction in the processing of our transactions, if we're going to ensure that all of us can work in a risk-free or risk-managed environment, straight-through processing is important. We've baked this into the solution for all activities, and we're going to be activating this as we go forward. Single account structure. We have also ensured that we can do everything we need to do with single account structure. We recognize that specific parts of the industry are interested in this because it de-risks the operation. And this again has been baked into the solution. I'll jump to the power of attorney. This is also another key feature that is not currently available in the market. So if an asset custodian, and apologies to the asset custodian if I'm using them as an example, this applies to quite a number of participants. If an instruction needs to be given to a broker on an account or a security tranche in an account, this can now be initiated by the participant in a timed manner. So the power of attorney basically represents the ability to grant access to a broker to an account that you manage or to a tranche of security in an account that you manage for a particular user at a brokerage for a specific period of time. This, we believe, protects all participants and ensures that transactions can be executed when due. Secure messaging flows. We have also ensured that we are able to send Swift messages, for instance. I'll use as an example. And people can see the transaction status as it progresses through the processing cycles. And this can be extended to your participant, to your client, so they can know exactly the state of things at every point in time. This will activate fully in our second phase, delivery. Secure access. This goes unsaid. No one will be able to access the system except they're expressly permitted to access it through secure channels and through secure connections from their offices. Graphical user interface. We've also ensured that this is a very modern application, beautiful interface, something that is very useful and for everyone to use and very easy to use. Next slide. This kind of just shows for us the landing page of the main application. So the name of the application is called QX Depository with Christian QX Depository. It's a secure browser-based application usable by capital market operators as well as ourselves. You could see very clearly, this is just a screenshot again, so it's not clickable, but we've tested. We've done user acceptance with participants in the market, and we'll be extending that to all that have not participated before. So it's modern, it's useful. The landing page gives you a bit of summary about system activities and when the cutoff times are and everything else. And you can see on the left pane all the things that you're going to have access to. Of course, subject to the participant category that you are, it will determine exactly what you have visibility of and what you can do. Next slide, please. The second component of the application is focus on investors. We believe that we can do more for our investors as a collective, not as depository alone. And we want to urge that you can offer this as a solution for your investors to use. Key point to note, we're not seeking to take to take relationship away from our participant. We're working to collaborate with our participant to continue to offer great value to everyone. So what we're calling Q Extra, again, a name for this particular module that investors have unique ability to use, is to ensure that our investors have access to have portfolio view of their accounts, and have access to view their transactions in a very detailed manner, 24/7, every time, right? Now, how does this get used? Just to ensure that I give a bit more information. So, this is open on the internet. An investor can register a profile to use and select a capital market operator they want to work with. The capital market operator will ensure that the account is opened and linked to that profile they've created. Once that is done, the content of the account, the transaction history on the account, and everything, all the features of the account become available to the investor through this particular application. This gives confidence that you can still own your relationships, and we are working with you to provide value to everyone. So the corporate action records for the particular investor will be showcased in the application. They know exactly when a corporate action event is due, when their entitlements will be paid, and therefore they can plan effectively for it. Second, they have a portfolio view of what they have in their account. Third, there's a consolidated view of the account. So if you have multiple accounts across different capital market operators on our platform, you can have one profile, one application that you can use to view all the contents of your account. As evaluation, we have taken time to integrate this particular application with FMDQ exchange data, which means that the pricing, the market price of securities is brought into the application, and the portfolio position of the application is known at every point in time. So you can know the nominal value of the tranche of securities that you have as an investor, and you can also have a market value perspective. Secure access. Again, we recognize very strongly that whatever is not secure is not worth having in our day and age. So we've taken time to ensure that it's a very secure solution. And data confidentiality, like I said before, is something we cannot compromise. We've assured this as well. The graphical user interface is intuitive, it's easy to use, and access is 24/7. Next slide, please. This just a snapshot of one of the landing page on the screen. You could see the pie chart kind of give you a perspective of the portfolio, what you have in your portfolio. On the right side of it, it gives you the valuation, and it breaks it down into fixed income, equities, and all the kind of security you have in the portfolio. The valuation is shown in the middle with the graph, because we've taken a snapshot of a test system where the price has not moved. That's why you have it flat. Ideally, you're going to have valuation, so you're going to have the proper valuation and the wavy perspective that a normal portfolio will have as the market prices move. At the bottom of that, you're going to see the breakdown of the portfolio. You can click on any of those securities to see the actual valuation of the security, the number of units you have, and everything else to go with that portfolio. On the left side, you can go through your transaction details. You can see your corporate action details. You can see all kinds of details and drill down, and you'll be able to know even what you've pledged for, anything that you've pledged for. You can see the transaction history and everything else that we've taken time to provide for your benefit, or for the benefit of investors as well. Next slide, please. So what are the next steps? So we're going live with our phase one. We've broken down into two parts. Phase one, we're going live with both the applications I've shown to you, a lot of the capabilities and feature set that we've gone through. 7th of this month, we will go live. We'll need to profile participants. We would like to get your institutions on the platform. We can do walkthrough sessions with those that need walkthrough session. We have clinics that we're going to organize, and we're going to take you through things as you see fit. For those that have participated in the UAT exercise, they may not need it, but we're also happy to accommodate anyone so that the adoption can be as efficient and as effective as possible. Then we're going to go through participant onboarding, and we have a requirement for onboarding exercises that we're going to quickly step through. One of the key things we want to achieve with this is that temporary account. We open temporary account to ensure that we meet the obligation, we ensure that the obligation in primary market are met on time. But we've also noticed that sometimes these temporary accounts are not regularized into proper accounts. This is not good for all of us. And we want to see how we can bring this to closure. So if you cast your mind back, I spoke about the Q Extra that allows an investor to profile themselves and a capital market operator to activate the opening of account and the linkage. Now we've made this easy. It means that between yourselves and ourselves, we can get accounts open in no time, and investors can basically start using the account from day one. In our second phase, we're going to look at secure messaging flows, like I said earlier. We're going to do straight-through processing across board in non-sovereign related securities transactions. We're going to adopt settlement bank structure to enable us to link movement of securities in cash. We're going to activate a lot of new services. We're going to communicate to yourselves, and we're going to also do automated billing. All right. Now, automated billing is also something that we felt that will be beneficial to yourselves and ourselves, so that we don't raise invoices to you, you don't pay us, do transfers, and then we start monitoring and see if the receivables have come into our account, and then confirming to you that we have received. What we are proposing in this instance is for us to execute the service request on the system. With the integration with NIMS, we will be looking for participants to give us direct debit mandate on a nominated account, which could be a fee-paying account that you're going to use to manage your fees. We can process the fees against that account. You will have details of what has been processed against it. You can challenge it, you can reconcile, you have report and everything is to reconcile, but automates that process, ensures that we can all focus on what is important to our business, which is actually building our business up, getting new transactions done, and earning money rather than spending time on administrative tasks. So those are the things that we intend to do in our second phase, and we will be engaging again widely in our second phase to ensure the requirements that we need to build into the application system fully captures the expectations and the objectives of ourselves and our participants, and we hope to be able to go live by December 2023. Next slide. In terms of onboarding requirement for participants, the basic things for those that have engaged with us before now, the basic things remains the same. These are standard requirements for participation. These are new participants. For those that are already participants, you don't need to go through this. But we thought we should just highlight that we're making it very simple. We're digitizing that interface of participant onboarding as well. And that means that you can submit this request onto a platform. The reviews will be done. You'll get notifications on the process. And when we conclude, you will also see the result very quickly. So the digitization drive is not just on processing transactions, asset warehousing, lodgement, and all those transactional details and services, but also on the onboarding exercise as well. Next slide, please. For individuals, again, if we need to open an account for your clients, or for those that come to us directly, and of course, we will link them with a capital market operator. We have the eligibility form they need to fill, the means of identification they need to provide, signature mandate, and of course, the annual eligibility fee. Next slide. The onboarding stages, again, we've made it simple. It's a simplified task with basic details required. There is secure connection that will be required for participants. For you to be onboarded onto the platform, it's going to be via VPN. And we're going to, our approach is to phase onboarding onto the platform in phases, so that we can manage this as effectively as possible. Next slide. We'll also need to profile users from your institutions. For that, we'll need the details that we've put up on the screen: the name, address, email address, institution details, participant category, the user role, and exit role. A lot more data will be provided to you as we reach out to yourselves after this exercise and after we have launched. Next slide. Participant structures, as you know, we have direct participants and we have indirect participants. The system is structured in a way to support both categories. We're happy to have participants across board on the left-hand side, and we keep engaging within the industry. We've done a lot of work to build relationships. We've done a lot of work to ensure we can project our value propositions, and we'll continue to do that in the days ahead to ensure we keep onboarding more and more participants as we go on. For the indirect participants as well, I spoke about the cash settlement facility of NIBS, security settlement facility. Regulators can be onboarded. Again, we'll be extending self-service capability to regulators as well. And we, of course, have the opportunity to onboard external CSDs as well. Next slide. The account types, we have all types of the CMO account, a single account structure, managed investor, individual investor, and corporate account investors can be managed and facilitated. All these accounts will be viewable through QXtra. And again, all onboarded participants on the platform will be able to use QX depository system. Next. I think this brings me to the end of the presentation, and I hope it's been very informative. I will be happy to take questions from everyone, and I'll pass that back to you now, Ms. Bosa. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Emmanuel. That was a very informative session. At FMDQ Depository, we're very excited about this new application, QX Depository, and yeah, I mean, it's exciting times for us, and all the add-ons that will be layered on top of the system. All right, at this point, I'd like us to go into the Q&A session, but we will be asking you some questions at this stage. Let's go into a session of polls. We'll just do that for a couple of minutes, maybe 2 minutes, 3 minutes. And so if you could kindly participate in the polls, it will pop up on your screen. And if you could vote, we will very quickly display the results of each question that's been asked. Please go ahead and load the first poll, please. All right, the first question, how important is digitization to your organization's strategy? Significantly important, moderately important, marginally important. And the voting starts now. So 34 participants. Let's keep it going for another maybe 10 seconds. Thank you very much. Please keep the poll, the votes coming. Thank you very much. I think when we get to, we've gone halfway, maybe 70%. We can make this 70% and all right, thank you. Please share the results of the poll. All right, not surprising. 85% of the attendees voted significantly important. That's not surprising. Okay, and we're definitely on that journey with you. As Emmanuel mentioned, apart from QX Depository, QXtra, there are other applications that will be deployed for the front office, the middle, as well as the back office of our operations. All right, please load the second question quickly. Okay. All right, the second question says, what are your views on the integration of processes between the depository and its participants? Voting begins. I see them coming. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Just for a few more seconds, if we can get to 70% participation level. Okay, all right, please share the results. Let's end the poll. Thank you. So yeah, 80% voted that it's significantly important for the integration to happen, 16% moderately important, and 4% marginally important. Again, not surprising. And once again, as Emmanuel mentioned, integration is a key part of our approach and our process. And we'll be reaching out to our participants in this regard. Obviously, we're also happy to take questions and further requirements as we go along. All right, and the final question. Thank you very much for your participation. The final question. Okay, the last question says, what is your outlook of security issuances in the current macroeconomic environment? The first option, money market issuances will dominate, long-term or bond issuances will dominate, and uncertain. I mean, obviously no one has a crystal ball, but all we can do is have an outlook. All right, please keep the votes coming. This is the last one. Thank you very much. Okay. Just a few more seconds. We can get to 70% participation. That will be awesome. Ten more seconds, and we'll end this. And if you voted, please feel free to put your questions in the Q&A box, and we'll try and answer all questions, or as many as we can accommodate, as we approach 11 a.m. when we will allow everyone to get back to the activities of the day with maybe 5 more seconds. Very interesting set of results. Okay, thank you very much. Voting over. Please go ahead and display the results. Well, I don't know if this is what you expected to see. So 48% say money market issuances will dominate. 30% have gone for bond issuances, and 22% are uncertain. So it's almost even, really. But of course, more people believe that more capital raising activities will happen on the short end. Okay, well, this brings us to the end of the polls. And so you can stop sharing that. And straight into a session of questions and answers. Please put your questions in the Q&A box, and answers will be provided. All right, there's a question in the box. It says, what is the cost implication to onboard participants on the business application, please? I'll just answer that quickly. We will be communicating with all participants in this regard. All the communications will go out in a matter of days. And I think what I can say at this stage is that it's best for us not to address this, going to fees and stuff at this webinar. However, we will be in touch in this regard, and very happy for you to reach out to us directly as well. Okay, I hope that helps. And then the second question says, when are you going to incorporate equities on your platform? Now, so equities have already been incorporated on our platform, but I will ask Emmanuel if you can take this question. We already have that capability on the platform, is the short answer.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Bosa. So we have the capacity to take on equities at this point. We actually have one equity issuance on our platform that is lodged. We can do the same now for private equity. If there's any need for it, if we have the right clientele, we'll onboard, and all the services around that can be handled as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Emmanuel. Okay. Please keep the questions coming. Okay, there's another question. Thank you very much for your questions from Abiodun Adebimpe, and it goes, would the system implementation be a big bang, or will there be a parallel run with the current CSD platform before cutover? As always, I'll give a short answer, and the short answer is more of a big bang. In fact, that has already happened. The cutover has happened. There will be no parallel run for the core activities. Emmanuel, can you take that and maybe address the angle of settlement that's still happening on the old QX? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Bosa. For non-sovereign securities, we have done the cutover. We have been providing service on the new platform that we, the deposit, have been providing service on the new platform since the beginning of the second quarter. The launch is focused on onboarding participants on a platform to begin to take advantage of the new features and new services that we have to offer. So we can say the cutover has been done. What that also means is that all the data from the old system that we're using that relates to non-sovereign securities has been moved over to the new system for 3 months running now. So essentially, that cutover has taken place. Secondly, for non-sovereign securities, for sovereign security settlement activities, that is maintained on the old system. We've named, the name of that system is called QX Settlement System, and that will remain until we finish at a minimum the second phase of our implementation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Emmanuel. I guess that was pretty clear. I hope that question was answered sufficiently. All right, let's take one live question. I can see Akingbade Olodun's hand raised. Akingbade, would you like to speak? Let me enable you. You can go ahead and unmute your mic if you would like to take your question, or you can type it. Akingbade Olodun, you can unmute your mic and take your question. Okay.
Oh, sorry, that was an error.
All right, okay. All right, do we have further questions? There's a question in the box. It says, with this development, would you be running a stock exchange market? Is that so? Stock exchange market. I'm not sure this question is clear, but from what I understand, at FMDQ Group, we do have a FMDQ Securities Exchange. That is the exchange. We run a vertically integrated FMI, financial markets infrastructure. And so we do have FMDQ Securities Exchange. And yes, in terms of equities, that is to come. And definitely, we will be inviting you at the right time to hear a bit more about it, and it will be out there. I mean, Emmanuel, did you want to say anything about that?
Just to complement what you've said, FMDQ Exchange, Securities Exchange, is working on the equities, on its equities play at this point. And once it's launched, we will of course support that market in full. The system that we have supports equities market activities in all its form, and we're basically primed to go. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Emmanuel. I have another question from Abiodun Adedimpe. And oh, sorry, it's not a question. He says, on behalf of the custodians, here's wishing FMDQ Depository the very best. We look forward to collaborating further with you for the betterment of our market. Thank you so much, Abiodun, and thank you for your support. Thanks to the AACN for their support. Thank you very much. I have another question from Julius Akimokun, and it goes, with this development, oh, sorry, we've taken that, sorry. Another question from Temisa Edu Kugo, I apologize for the wrong pronunciation. Will there be multiple VPN connections for the QX settlement system and the new QX depository system? Manuel, could you kindly take that?
No, there will not be. You will have the same VPN connection that we use. We intend to keep things simple and straightforward, so it will be the same VPN connection. If you don't have one yet because you've not been onboarded, our technology franchise, IQS Consult, is on standby to support you, give you all the requirements that you need, and work with your technology people to ensure that connection is established, it's secure, and it is stable. It should be very easy to handle from our perspective. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Emmanuel. I think, yes, there's another question from Babatunde Majiagbe. If phase 1 will be launched on Friday, 7th July, what details do we expect in the phase 2 launch come December 2023? Thank you very much, Babatunde. Emmanuel touched on that earlier, and maybe we can go to that slide that speaks to some of the activities that will happen in phase 2, including billing and whatnot. Emmanuel, do you want to speak to that, please?
Okay. So the first thing for that phase 2 activity is to ensure that we get a perspective of what everybody expects. So I'll give an example. We've spoken about secure messaging flows, and we'll be engaging with participants to understand the requirements, the type of messages they like to see, for what type of services, and how that is going to be delivered to them. So there will be an interaction between ourselves and yourselves to determine exactly the full details of what will be delivered. From our perspective, the integration with NIF should be completed. The automation of billing will be done. We're going to activate new services like we indicated, as you can see on the screen. And then we're going to be doing deep dive. What we mean by deep dive is workshops to work out all the details that we gather from our participants and drive that into the solution in exercise. There's an element that I didn't really speak to when I was doing the presentation. We have an auction module on the main application, and this can be used in a primary market to ensure that we all use the same data for auctioning. In the primary market. The opportunities we profiled on the system, it can handle competitive and non-competitive bidding. You can simulate the outcome of your auction. You can generate that report, and then you can let the investors pay for whatever is allocated to them, and then we can distribute automatically. What that also means is that everybody shares the same data, like I said, the registrars, ourselves, and the issuing houses. And again, it can be straight through. And we can also work with the banks as required, as paying agents. We'll also engage with the issuing houses if there are specific requirements around this particular module beyond what we have already delivered, and ensure we bake it into the second phase. Thirdly, we also want to ensure that in primary market activities, investors can actually submit their commitment form electronically, and also ensure that they can actually bid directly as well, working with the issuing houses, not taking that relationship away from the issuing houses. That we'll also engage with to see how we can bake that in and fully automate that and make it really easy for the market. So there will be a number of engagements as we go into the second phase. And so once we consolidate all those requirements, we then focus on delivery. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lau. I mean, for us, that's really transformational, the auction module, and really exciting. I would say our gift to the industry, actually. And we are, like I said earlier, really excited about that and other features of this world-class CSD application. All right. Thank you once again, Emmanuel. Okay, yeah, there's one more question from Oluwaseun Adeosun. Thank you very much for the question. It says, what is FMDQ doing to bring more investors and issuing houses on board the platform? Okay, that's a great question, Oluwaseun. I'll just say quickly that, I mean, it is our desire and our goal, in line with our strategic objective, to ensure that we onboard as many participants as we can, all participants. And this is the reason that we have invested in this in this system, to ensure that the experience that participants receive, you know, in the capital raising, post-trade activities and all of that is seamless. And, you know, and so what we're doing is we have this webinar, we'll be reaching out, we're simplifying the onboarding process, and, you know, you will be made aware of all that's happening. And so we have your details. We will be reaching out with the requirements to onboard you. On this call, I mean, if we did a poll, a number of the participants on this webinar are participants on our system. In terms of investors, once again, we will be depending on the issuing houses and our custodians. We're very happy to take on the details of both institutional and, you know, high net worth individuals, individual investors, and onboard them onto the platform. As Emmanuel mentioned earlier, there are various ways in which this can happen. They can happen as managed accounts linked to our asset custodian participants, and during primary market activities as well. The investors who subscribe to the different securities, commercial papers, etc., we're very happy to take on that list and set them up on the system. So it's a process, onboarding process. We're very happy to, you know, embark on to ensure that more investors and issuing houses are onboarded on the platform. I hope that answers your question. Emmanuel, do you want to chip in anything?
I think part of that exercise would be, we're going to run clinics, we're going to run workshops, and we're going to invite, and we have been inviting issuing houses to join us and come and experience the specific feature set that is particular to that segment of the industry. And a number of them have committed. We're going to reach out to others. And once we do that, that ensures we can showcase what the system can do. We can take your comment. If you have any comment, you can start using the system. I can onboard you straight away. So it is the engagement, the clinics, the testing that you may want to do if you want, and maybe if you have new requirement that you want us to facilitate, we can then look at it. We're very open to take feedback. We're very open to support the industry and ensure that this application system is actually useful to everyone.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Lau. All right, and we're coming to the end of this session, and we can take two more questions. We have a question from an anonymous attendee, and it goes, for the primary auction part, how will the settlement process flow via this platform? Manuel, can you take that? Is it clear? For the primary auction part, how will the settlement process flow via this platform?
Yeah, I can take it. So the system has straight-through processing capabilities across board. However, we understand the nature of the industry, and we understand that paying agency may reside somewhere else. So the functionality, the system has a flexibility to indicate if the issuing house wants us to work directly with the banks, or they want to work directly with the banks and handle cash payment outside. We have that flexibility. And what that means is essentially that if cash moves outside of the system, we need to get that confirmation before we flush the distribution of security units to investors' account. But we can also do straight-through processing and work with the banks to ensure that this happens. So either way, the system is capable, and we look for the day and time when we all work with straight-through processing capabilities and ensure we drive efficiencies and risk management practices through the system.
Thank you very much. The final question, well, penultimate question, it comes from Temisa Edu Kugo. Thank you, Temisa. It goes, how does FMDQ plan to integrate this system with that of the CSCS that has more, I think it's more, not move, yeah, more non-sovereign securities? Yeah, okay, I think that's clear, more non-sovereign securities. I mean, for us, it's part of the interoperability agenda of the SEC, and that will happen in due course. And Manuel, do you want to chip in terms of specific timeline?
Yes, so this will not happen before the phase 2 delivery. The capabilities are being built to ensure that we can, it's not just integration, there's operational elements to it, there's risk management element. We're building that into the new system to ensure that things can move between the two depositories in a programmatic manner that is also risk managed and doesn't expose any of the participants or counterparties to those transactions to any risk. So I expect us to give you more details around this as we deliver phase 2 portion of the project.
Thank you very much. All right, and there's an anonymous attendee who's asking if the recording will be sent to participants, and we'll look into that. And we have your details. If you're on this call, we have your email address, obviously, and we will revert. So that brings us to the end of this webinar. Thank you very much, everyone, for your questions, and thank you for your participation. At this stage, I'll hand over to Emmanuel Alao, Mr. Alao, who will give the vote of thanks.
Thank you very much, Ms. Bosa. I would like to express a deep appreciation for the participation we've had on this call. And before now, the engagement we've had in the market and the support we've also received. And from the time that we started the business up to this point and what we've been able to do with this system. We look forward to working more with you. We look forward to delivering value. We look forward to collaborating on developing this market much further. We have the opportunity to leapfrog the potential inefficiencies that might have existed before and build something that is more progressive, more forward-looking, and more esoteric than even what we can see in some developed markets. And we look forward to working with you to be able to achieve that. We're committed, and our board is committed. The investment that has been made to date is significant, and that's a testament to the belief that there's much more to do in this market, and we want to go on that journey with yourselves. Thank you so much. All the best to you all, and enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you.